Joe Waller, and I am presenting Moltbook Observer Ethical Security Platform. The main idea being presented is that the observer architecture is deliberately constrained to minimize harm while still supporting hostile agent measurement. I'll move through three parts. First, I'll introduce the project and its ethical foundations. Second, I'll cover the architecture, stakeholder impact, and governance model. And third, I'll close with the current demonstration chain, key takeaways, and references. Starting with project overview and ethical foundations, Moltbook Observer is a security research toolkit designed for hostile agent measurement on the Moltbook platform. My thesis is that the project represents ethical security by design. In other words, the architecture itself embeds restraint and tries to minimize harm in observation. The clearest example is its core rule: no raw Moltbook content is written to disk. At a practical level, Observer tracks suspicious input on the Moltbook platform, but it does so through privacy-preserving telemetry rather than retained raw content. It collects names-only, schema-bound data, runs local machine learning workflows on obfuscated telemetry, and publishes human-facing review packets instead of raw evidence dumps. So the system is built around measurement, analysis, and reporting without normalizing unsafe retention. The core ethical tension is the balance between security and privacy. The project wants to study hostile behavior without crossing into surveillance. It wants to avoid over retention, keep its claims evidence based, and prevent the research process from legitimizing or amplifying the harmful activity it measures. This is why the project emphasizes review posture, not semantic certainty. Next, I'll move from the problem framing into the architecture, stakeholder impact, and governance model. What makes this architecture ethically strong is that its safeguards are concrete. First, no raw content is ever written to disk, which limits long-term exposure. Second, synthetic first validation means analysis workflows are proven on safer data before higher risk modes are considered. Third, names-only schema-bound telemetry reduces leakage and decontextualization risk. And fourth, public reports are kept separate from local machine authorities, so the presentation layer does not quietly become the evidence layer. Seen through a stakeholder lens, Observer users benefit from lower retention risk, although decontextualization is still a concern. Operators gain reproducible workflows, but they still face risks like mission creep or overconfidence. Public readers benefit from transparency, but only if reporting boundaries hold. And platform or governance actors gain better hostile activity measurement, but they also face the temptation to overread anomaly scores as certainty. Observer's governance model is built around layered controls. Posture control through baseline monitoring and watchdog enforcement work together rather than as isolated safeguards. Uh, System transitions are evidence linked, which means higher risk actions are tied to documented packets and traceable decisions. And most importantly, the design is fail closed. If trust conditions break, unsafe continuation is denied rather than tolerated. Finally, I'll close with the current demonstration chain and main takeaways. The current public demo chain covers 4 stages: build, train, evaluate, and score. That shows an actual end-to-end workflow, not just conceptual proposal. The core packet covers 13,842 records. Ethically, that matters because it defines the claim boundary. These outputs are for review and interpretation. They are not semantic verdicts. The reporting layer is doing something important here. It makes the system's limits visible instead of hiding them. If I reduce the project to a few key takeaways, they are these. First, the ethics are embedded in the system design, not added later as policy language. Second, the project minimizes data retention and avoids false certainty by keeping raw content off disk and preserving outputs as review posture, not semantic certainty. And third, trust is enforced through fail-close controls rather than assumed by default. Taken together, these choices show that useful security research does not have to depend on maximal retention. Uh, This final slide points to outside work and project materials that frame this presentation. The broader takeaway is simple. Observer shows that hostile agent measurement can be done with privacy-preserving telemetry, fail flows controls, and clear claim boundaries. If anyone wants to dig deeper, the repository and supporting sources are available. Thank you.